Students, today we will discuss about the error analysis. Now, in the first lecture of error analysis, we will know qualitative meaning of error. What is the meaning of error? And then there are two more terms, accuracy and precision. So, as we know that the measurement is the foundation of all experimental sciences, not only physics. It is the foundation of all experimental sciences. We believe on the measured values. We believe on the results which are obtained in the experiments. And those results, correct results, can be obtained only when our measurement is correct. Our measurement is correct. But whatever be the accuracy of the experimental setup of the measuring instrument, whatever be the resolution of that instrument which is measuring to these measurements by which we are measuring the measurements, whatever be accuracy, whatever be the limit of resolution, in every case what will happen, there will be always some error. Even if you measure the diameter of a thin wire that you have measured in the class 9th, this experiment you have done, measured the diameter of the thin wire or a small spherical bob with the help of vernier calipers, with the help of screw gauge. So you can see that every time you are getting some different result. So which result you will take as the correct one? Because every time we are getting the different observations, different readings. So what will be the correct reading, that you cannot say confirmly. Or we can say that we are always measuring near to the approximate value. Near to the true value, not approximate value. Our measurement is approximately near to the true value. It's clear. So the result of every measurement or by any measuring instrument is always having some uncertainty. It is always having some error. This uncertainty is known as the error. And when we calculate the final result, end result, as we know that in every experiment, if you have, suppose there is a simple experiment, you have to determine the volume of this small cylinder. So what will you do? With the help of vernier calipers, you can measure its length. Then with the help of screw gauge, suppose this is very thin, like this cylinder, like this pen, you have measured its diameter. As we know that diameter we have measured with the help of a screw gauge. So as we know that what is the limit of resolution? Limit of resolution means up to what limit it can measure. So as we know that the limit of resolution of a ordinary meter scale. Ordinary meter scale is having divisions in millimeter and centimeter. What is the smallest length which can be measured with the help of the ordinary meter scale? It is 1 mm. That is its limit of resolution. We can say that it is 0.1 centimeter. In other words, limit of resolution depends upon the least count. What is least count? It is the smallest measurement which can be taken accurately by some instrument. Least count of the ordinary meter scale which you are using, its least count is 1 mm. Its least count is 0.1 centimeter. The distances which are smaller than 1 mm, that cannot be measured with the help of this. For example, if you measure the length of a line with the help of the ordinary meter scale, and suppose it comes in between 9.3 centimeter, one inch at 0 centimeter mark, and the other inch coming in between 9.3 and 9.4, then you can say that its approximate length is 9.3 centimeter. You can say its approximate length is 9.4 centimeter. You cannot say that its length is 9.35 centimeter, because its limit of resolution, its least count is 0.1 centimeter only. It's clear. It cannot measure up to 2 decimal places in centimeter. It is clear. So similarly, vernier calipers, its least count is 0.01 centimeter, which we are using in the laboratory, though it may have some different value also, but in the laboratory which we use is having this least count, and the screw gauge which we use is having this least count. Its least count is smaller, means its limit of resolution is more. Smaller the least count, more will be the limit of resolution. It is clear. It is more sensitive as compared to vernier calipers. It is clear. Vernier calipers, its least count is more than this, limit of resolution is less. It is clear. So here both the lengths have been derived by the different instruments. This length will have some error as well as the diameter will have some error, but when you will calculate the volume, there will be some different error. What is the formula of volume? V equals to pi r square L. Means the calculated value. V is not the measured value. Measured value is the length and 2r, which is the diameter. 2r means diameter. It's clear. These are the measured values. They are having some error. It's clear. This is V is calculated value which depends upon these measured values. It will also have the some error. It means whatever be the accuracy of the measured values, whatever be the limit of resolution of the measured value, every calculated quantity which is based on the measured values has also an error. It's clear. Now, what is the meaning of the accuracy? So accuracy means closeness of measurement to the true value of a physical quantity. What does accuracy means? It is the closeness of measured value to the true value. Closeness of measured value to the true value. That is known as the accuracy. Perhaps this I have written also, so I am showing from there. Accuracy means, here if you see here, what is the meaning of accuracy? It is the closeness of a measurement to the true value of a physical quantity. Instrument which gives the repeated readings close to the true value of a physical quantity is an accurate instrument. That instrument is considered as the accurate instrument which is giving repeated results closer to the true value. That is called the accurate instrument. Now see here, accuracy of any measurement, it depends upon the experimental setup as well as on the experimenter also. It's clear. If the means it depends upon both the things. It depends upon the experimental setup as well as on the experimenter also. But besides that, it also depends upon the precision. There is one term, precision. It's clear. Though both are different. Accuracy is having a different meaning, precision is having a different meaning. It's clear. Accuracy means it is the closeness of the measured value with the true value of the physical quantity, and the instrument which is giving the repeated results, repeated readings close to the true value of physical quantity is an accurate instrument. It depends upon what? It depends upon the experimental setup as well as on the experimenter, but besides this, it also depends upon the precision. Now, what is the meaning of precision? Precision of a measured value means to what resolution the quantity is measured. To what resolution the quantity is measured. Means you can see here, vernier calipers can measure up to this resolution. Screw gauge can measure up to this resolution, its least count is smaller. Whose precision will be more? The results which will be obtained from screw gauge will be more precise than vernier calipers. The length, if you measure the same length by these two instruments, same length, suppose there is a small spherical bob, its diameter you have once determined by screw gauge, then you have determined by vernier calipers. Since its least count is more, its least count is smaller, therefore its limit of resolution is more, and the result which will be obtained from here, that will be more precise than this. It is clear. Here it is also possible that this result is having more error. This thing is possible, though it is giving the precise reading, but it may have a more error as compared to the result which we have obtained from the vernier calipers. Now see here, suppose here means there is one more thing. It means in the precision, measured value which are close to each other may or may not be close to the true value. Measured values which are close to the each other, these values may or may not be equal to the true value, or precise values, and an instrument which gives the tight cluster of repeated results is a precise instrument. What is the meaning of this? Now see here first you see one thing. Here suppose there is a length which has been measured by two instruments. One is it is measured once by the vernier calipers, and then it is measured by screw gauge. Suppose here we have obtained from vernier calipers, we have obtained the result 3.5 centimeter. It's clear. Or 3.5 centimeter, or you don't take 3.52 centimeter. It is clear. 3.52 centimeter. While the result which you have obtained from this screw gauge, that you have find 3.387 centimeter. Here we have measured the same length by these two instruments, from vernier calipers and from the screw gauge. It is clear. Now as we know that whose least count is smaller, screw gauge is having the smaller least count, means this will be more precise as compared to this. It's clear. This is more precise as compared to this. Now see here, suppose the true value of this length. True value means what is the correct value? It is approximately 3.678 centimeter. It's clear. Now you pay careful attention here. Here we have measured the same length once by the vernier calipers, it gives the value 3.52 centimeter. Then by screw gauge it is giving the length 3.387 centimeter. Which one will be more precise? So definitely this one is more precise, because it has been measured by an instrument whose limit of resolution is more. But when you talk about the accuracy, which one is closer? 3.52 is closer to it, or this one is closer? So obviously this is more closer to this, means accuracy is this. It's clear. Accuracy is this. It means more precision does not mean that more accuracy. More precision does not mean that more accuracy. It's clear. But the better result will be one which is having both the things greater. Greater precision, greater accuracy. That will be the better result. That will be the better result. Now see here, I am showing your book. In that book, one diagram has been shown. It's clear. You can see here. You wait for a minute. I am taking the book. here if you see, perhaps in this book this diagram has been given. Yes, that from that I will explain. Now, precision means it is the repeated repetition of the closure values of the readings. Now here this is a diagram has been given in your book. Here this is a bullseye. This black spot is showing the bullseye, and there are the 4 persons. There are some that which you call it the जिनसे हम bullet spots. It is clear. These are the bullet spots which are when you will throw the dart over this, then the points where this dart is striking to this, these arrows are striking to this, these are called the bullet spots. It is clear here. So every person is hitting 6 times. So one person when it is hitting to this is the black spot in the bullseye, and 6 times when it hitting to it, then it strikes to these points which are shown here. The second person who is hitting here, so you can see here they are striking here in this region. The third person who is hitting, so you can see here they are striking near to the black spot. It's clear. And fourth person when hits, then it is striking near to the black spot in one side only. Now here if you see whether there is the accuracy, so you can say there is no accuracy. Why? Because every time the arrow is striking away from the spot, from the bullseye, every time it is striking much away from the bullseye. Therefore there is no accuracy. As well as if you see the here, as well as you see the precision, if you see the precision, so no observations are closer together. They are not closer together, means here there is no precision. It do not give the tight clusters of measurement. Here we are not getting the tight clusters of measurement. Tight clusters of measurement means all the values are very near to each other. All the values are very near to each other. They may be closer to the true value or they may not be closer to the true value. Both the things are possible, but all are very closer to each other. It's clear. Now here if you see, here you can see that every time he is striking near to all, every time arrow is striking near to each other, but still very far from the bullseye. Therefore here accuracy is low, but there is a precision. But here there is neither precision nor accuracy. It's clear. If you see here, you can find that here it is closer to the true value as well as all the points are closer to each other. Means we can say that it is having precision as well as accuracy. But when you compare these two diagrams, in which there is the greater precision, so you can say that here it has more precision than this, because every time arrow is striking near to each other. Here there is some separation, but here they are striking near to each other. And in both cases there is the accuracy also, because they are every time it is striking near to the bullseye. It's clear. So here it is having high precision as compared to this, as well as high accuracy. So precision means if any instrument is giving the tight cluster of, here this I can skip. Precision means if we are getting the tight cluster of repeated results, it's a precise instrument. Tight cluster of repeated results, that is one is a precise result instrument. That instrument will be precise. Now see here. So as we know that in every measurement there will be some error, and here there is some error. So these errors can be classified into two classes. There are two classes in which all these errors can be classified. One is the systematic error and other is the random error. What is the meaning of the systematic error and random error? So you see here. Now see here, what is systematic error? So systematic errors are those errors which tend to be in one direction. Which tend to be in one direction means either measuring every time greater than the true value or measuring every time less than the true value. Either measuring more than the true value or measuring less than the true value. That is known as the errors tending in one direction. So systematic errors are those errors that tend to be in one direction. So they may be positive or negative. What will be the amount of error? It is the difference between the true value and the measured value. True value and the measured value. Such errors can be eliminated. We can eliminate to these errors. Now these errors have been classified in the different parts. There are number of types of these errors. It's clear. Means what are the systematic errors? Are those errors which tend in one direction, may be positive or may be negative. These errors can be detected. How will you detect the error in any measurement? So there are two ways of detecting the error in a measurement. Either by measuring the same quantity, same physical quantity by two different instruments of same type. How will you know about the error? So either by measuring the same physical quantity by two different instruments of same type, or by measuring the same physical quantity by two different methods. मतलब हम कैसे ये पता करेंगे कि there is the error or not? It is clear. There will be definitely some error. You keep in mind while you take any observation, whatever be your accuracy level, whatever be the experimental setup may be very fine, experimenter may also be very skilled, but even after that there will be always some error. We measure always near to the closer to the true value. Means our measurement is only a approximated value that is closer to the true value. So this error can be detected either by measuring the same physical quantity by two different instruments of same type. Means we are measuring the length of the cylinder with the help of two different vernier calipers, or by measuring the same physical quantity by two different methods. We will determine the length of the cylinder once by the vernier calipers, then with the help of the meter scale, by two different methods. It is clear. So by two different ways we will determine the length. So see here, systematic errors are those which tend to be in one direction, either positive or negative. Such errors can be eliminated by knowing their cause of the error and then applying the proper rule which governs to them. Now see here, these systematic errors have been classified into number of parts, number of ways. You can see here, it can be classified in the instrumental error. The one is the instrumental error. Here, these are the, you can see here, instrumental error. These are the types, one type of the systematic error. Now what is instrumental error? As soon as instrumental error, so it means the error in error in the instrument. Now there may be what type of error in the instrument. So a very common error which you have heard in screw gauge and in the vernier calipers, that you know, that is known as the zero error. It's clear. In screw gauge also you have heard one error, backless error. It is clear. Backless error. It is clear. See here I am writing in this side. Now what is the zero error? No need to explain it more, as you already know what is the meaning of the zero error. Zero error means when we bring the zero of vernier calipers in line with the zero of main, then we find if both the zeros are coinciding together, then it means there is no zero error. But if the zero of main scale is not coinciding with the zero of vernier scale, or zero of main scale is not coinciding with the baseline, when both the jaws of the screw gauge are brought in contact, then there will be the zero error. Now this zero error either may be positive zero error or it may be negative zero error. Now see here, what is the meaning of positive zero error? In positive zero error, measured value is always more than the true value. In positive zero error, we measure more than the actual, while in the negative zero error, we measure less than the actual value. Actual value means true value, negative zero error. So by knowing this error, we can apply the proper correction, that you know how will you determine the zero error. It's clear. Then this zero error may also, the instrumental error is one more type, veering of the meter scale at one end. There are two ends of the meter scale, 0 centimeter and 100 centimeter mark. Veering off because of the continuous use of the meter scale, what will happen? The ends may get damaged. Ends of the meter scale may get damaged. And when the zero mark is damaged, then what will happen? There may be some error when you measure the length from such type of scale. So veering of the meter scale at one end. Then similarly, temperature graduations of thermometer may be inadequately calibrated. They may be inadequately means they are not properly calibrated. Thermometer is not properly calibrated. So this instrumental error can be detected by measuring. So any error, whether it is an instrumental error or any error, we can detect. How will you detect it? By measuring the same quantity, physical quantity, by two different instruments of the same type, or by measuring the same physical quantity with two different ways. दो different तरीके से उसकी measurement को किया है, आए समझे? And in there is one, the same physical quantity has been measured by two different measuring instruments of same type. It's clear. So this instrumental error can be recognized and then it can be removed by applying the proper corrections. It is clear. Then there is one more error, that is called the imperfection in the experimental setup, in the experimental technique or procedure. Imperfection. It is clear. Now for example, when you are doing some experiment of calorimetry, when we do some experiments of calorimetry, so as we know that there will be in calorimeter, you have seen that calorimeter is a copper vessel which is kept inside a wooden jacket. This is the copper vessel. It is clear. Here this one is the copper vessel. Then it is kept inside the wooden jacket. This one is the wooden jacket. The space between them is filled with some insulating material. Why? In order to avoid the loss of heat due to conduction. It is a highly polished from inside as well as outside, in order to avoid the loss of heat due to radiation. Then it is covered with a wooden lid. in order to prevent the loss of heat due to convection. But even after that, there will be always some loss. It's clear? These losses can be minimized. They cannot be completely eliminated. They cannot be completely eliminated. Therefore, because of the limitation of the experimental setup, there may be some errors. It's clear? For example, when we make, suppose this is a calorimeter which is containing water and some hot bodies dropped in it. So we primarily consider the transfer of heat in between what and what? This liquid and hot body. We assume that the calorimeter is not absorbing any amount of heat. But actually what happens? Calorimeter is also absorbing some heat. It's clear? So what will happen? There will maybe some error due to that. So every experimental setup or technique or procedure is having certain limitation. It's clear? हर एक एक्सपेरिमेंटल सेटअप या जिस तरीके से एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं सब में क्या है, कुछ ना कुछ लिमिटेशंस हैं एंड वी कैन नॉट रिमूव दोज लिमिटेशंस. वी कैन मिनिमाइज बाय आवर स्किल. We can minimize to those by our skill. For example, when we have to transfer the object, so the object should be transferred very quickly. Object should be transferred very quickly so that there is no loss of heat when it is brought from heated chamber to this. It's clear? There is no loss of heat. It's clear? Similarly, when you are determining the weight, so when we determine the weight, we don't consider the buoyancy of the air. We don't consider the buoyancy of air, but the buoyant force exerted by air also acts. That we don't take into account. So the weight which we get, that is slightly smaller than the actual weight. जो weight हमको मिलेगा वो क्या होगा? That will be slightly smaller than the actual weight. And how much smaller? Which is equal to the buoyant force. So these are errors which arise due to the imperfection in the experimental error. Now here these errors cannot be eliminated completely because there is no such rule for them. So by applying necessary corrections, we use some necessary corrections and then by that way we can minimize them. Then there is one more error, personal error. Personal error means the error which is caused because of the experimenter. Experimenter is not so skilled. उतना वो क्या है, experienced नहीं है. उसको जो precautions दिमाग में रखनी है, जो precautions during the experiment observe करनी है, he do not observe those precautions accurately. So the personal error that arises due to an individual's bias, lack of proper setting of apparatus, because the setting will be done by the experimenter, or individual's carelessness in taking observation without observing proper precautions which are meant for that experiment. It's clear? So for example, regarding position of needle, when we take, you have studied in the lower classes how to record the length with the help of a meter scale. So it is advised to see vertically down, not to see in the slanting direction. ये कहा जाता है कि जब किस मीटर स्केल से हमको किसी लेंथ को मीजर करना है, so one end of that line should coincide with the 0 centimeter mark. While we observe at the other end, we should observe vertically down. We should not observe in the slanting direction. Slanting मतलब तिरछी direction में नहीं देखना. It's clear? Because when you will observe in the slanting direction, what will happen? You will not get the correct reading. It's clear? So this is a type of personal error. There may be number of personal errors you can see here. While you are recording the number of oscillations completed in an experiment of simple pendulum, as we know that one oscillation means when the bob goes from here to here, then it comes in this direction, then it goes in this direction, and then it returns back. It is clear. This is the one oscillation. So when the barb is coming here, then we should count. But what happens? Either we count before reaching at this point, or we count after reaching at this point. It's clear. So we are not recording the exact number of oscillations. या तो उस पॉइंट पर पहुंच मीन पोजीशन पर पहुंचने के पहले ही हम काउंट कर लेते हैं, या मीन पोजीशन क्रॉस हो जाने के बाद काउंट करते हैं. So we don't get the correct time. It's clear. So that is also because of the laxness of the experimenter. The experimenter, this error can be minimized if the experimenter is very experienced. It's clear. Then there is one more error, that is called the error due to the external causes. Error due to external causes. Here, when we perform any experiment, then there will be some external conditions, for example, pressure, temperature, wind, fluctuation of voltage, when we are doing some experiment of the electricity. For example, verification of Ohm's law. Verification of Ohm's law, and if the voltage fluctuates, when voltage will fluctuate, current will also change. It's clear. So because of these, some errors can arise. Error due to the external causes. Over these external causes, we can have some control, but they are not in complete control of the experimenter. So there may be some error due to the external causes. So these are the four types of the errors which comes under the systematic error. Now see here, how will you minimize the systematic error? So first one is improving experimental technique. Experimental setup should be very fine. There should be no chance of arising of the error. Then selecting the better instrument. Then removing the personal bias as far as possible. It's clear. Means experimenters should be very skilled. Keeping control over external conditions during the experiment. It's clear. But even after keeping in mind all these factors and following all these factors, even up to 100%, always there will be some error due to some unknown regions. For example, if you measure the length of a rod, if you measure the length, if you take any observation with the help of vernier calipers or screw gauge, every time you will get some different value. It's clear. Though they will not differ largely. If they are differing largely, then there may be some gross error. It's clear. So they will not differ largely. But once you are getting the value 5.63, then 5.64, then 5.63, 5.65, like that. So these are coming under the random errors. Random errors are those which occur irregularly. Irregularly means they may be in the plus, they may be in the minus also. We can measure more than the true value, we can measure less than the true value. And hence are random with respect to sign or size. Size means the amount of error. These errors can arise due to random and unpredictable causes. Since the causes are unpredictable, so how will you remove such errors? So we can minimize these errors by taking large number of observations and then determining the mean of those observations. You take large number of observations and then determine the mean of those observations. So what will happen? In some observations we have measured more than the true value. In some observations we have measured the less than the true value. So when you will add and determine the mean, what will happen? Those errors will be eliminated. Up to a very large extent, those errors will be eliminated. Since they are because of unpredictable causes. Their cause are not known to us. We have done the experiment keeping all the precautions in the mind. But even after, some errors have been produced. Some errors have produced. So these errors can be minimized by taking the large number of observations and then determining the mean of those observations. Now see here, so this I have told, random errors have almost equal chances for both positive and negative errors. Hence the arithmetic mean of all the observations can be taken as true value of the measured quantity. Now there is one more error, least count error, which is imposed because of the least count of the instrument. For example, when you are measuring any length with the help of the vernier calipers, it can measure accurately up to 0.01 centimeter. It's clear. Therefore, this length we cannot measure 3.525 centimeter. It's not possible to measure with the help of vernier calipers because its least count allows only up to this. It's clear. So the error which is imposed in any instrument due to the least count of that instrument, that is known as the least count error. Now all the readings are measured values are good only up to this value, only up to the least count. Now least count error is due to limitation imposed. So this I have told, least count errors occur with both systematic as well as, it can come under both. It can come under the systematic error as well as in the random error. It can be minimized by using instruments of higher precision, means smaller least count, whose limit of accuracy, whose limit of resolution is more. So this is all about the qualitative meaning of error. Now in the next lecture we will discuss about the quantitative meaning. How will you measure that amount of error? So that we will discuss in the next lecture. Now one more thing, these notes I will upload in the Google Drive and then the link of that I will share in the description box of this video. So you can go at the description box and you can download these notes. So thank you. We will see in the next video the quantitative meaning of the errors. How will you determine it quantitatively? Thank you.